Before you continue, pause for a moment. Look around the room you are in. Notice the corners, the ceiling, the spaces your eyes avoid. In some villages, people do not whistle at night. They do not leave windows open. They do not sleep without light. Not because they fear the dark, but because they believe the dark listens. Tonight, you will hear a story that has survived hundreds of years. A story whispered by mothers, passed from child to child, shared only when the sun has gone. This is not a story about a monster. This is a story about a woman and what she became when fear took root. If you hear wings outside your window, it may already be too late. This is the story of the Manananggal. Long before streetlights, before metal locks, before medicine explained the night, villages in the Visayan islands of the Philippines lived close to the forest. Places like Capiz, Iloilo, and Antique. Homes were small, made of wood and nipa. Roofs rattled when wind blew through the trees. Smoke from cooking fires drifted into the night, carrying smells of rice and burning leaves. Night was alive. Dogs stopped barking. Crickets fell silent. Even the wind held its breath. And sometimes, something moved in the shadows above the rooftops. Not fast, not clumsy, purposeful. Soft wings brushing the air, a sound meant to warn, to terrify, to remind people that the dark had its rules. Children slept under blankets, mothers whispered prayers, fathers checked windows. And still, fear spread. Among these villages was a girl named Isabela. She was ordinary, quiet, curious. Her father was a farmer. Her mother healed the sick. Isabela learned to mix herbs and soothe fevers. She learned which plants were safe and which could poison. She learned that the forest was beautiful and deadly. But Isabela's childhood was not peaceful. Her father died when she was 10. Her mother remarried a man who ignored her. She grew up feeling small, invisible, alone. Her friends were kind, but the village was full of gossip. Every misstep, every whisper could become rumor. So she learned to hide, to observe, to wait. Even then, she feared the night. As Isabela grew, she remained quiet. She worked in her mother's garden. She helped women in childbirth. But grief stayed with her. Loneliness gnawed at her. She felt a fragile weight pressing her chest. A fear she could not name. Then strange things began. She avoided salted food. Her sleep became shallow. Shadows seemed to move differently when she passed. Neighbors noticed small oddities. Animals would hiss or whimper. Dogs barked for no reason. Isabela said nothing. She did not understand it herself. One evening, desperate to survive, Isabela walked deep into the forest. A clearing, where old spirits once listened, where villagers dared not enter after dark. There she met a woman who offered protection, not healing, not salvation, protection. The ritual required oil, dark and thick, Ritual chants whispered over her body. No salt must touch her lips. No prayers must interrupt. Once begun, the ritual could not be stopped. Isabela agreed. The first nights passed quietly. Then small things changed. Hunger disappeared. Sleep grew light. Her shadow lagged. Animals avoided her. She felt pressure in her chest. Not pain, something alive, pulling outward. On the seventh night, Isabela awoke, screaming. No sound came out. Her body arched. The oil burned. The separation began. Her upper half tore from her lower half. Wings unfolded from her back, organs dangling. She rose, light as air. Above her lower half, still breathing, still human. And the hunger came. Not for food, for life, for warmth. By dawn, she returned, scrubbed the oil, ate salted food. It was too late. The ritual had finished, and she would never be whole again. The first death was quiet. A pregnant woman woke, gasping, felt pressure on her chest, saw a shadow above her. By morning, she was gone. No wounds, no struggle, only fear. Then another, then another. Villagers began to whisper. They closed windows, hung garlic, chanted prayers. But the shadow returned, soft wings brushing the air. They had created a monster without ever meaning to. One night, a brave villager followed the sound. Behind Isabela's house, in the tall grass, he saw it. Her lower half, alive, but still. Salt, ash, garlic, all applied to stop her. When she returned, she screamed. Not like a monster, like a human realizing there was no way back. The elders realized she was not evil. She had been afraid to die, afraid to be forgotten, afraid to be powerless. Fear had taught her to fly, and once fear learns that, it never comes down. Stories like Isabela's originated in the Visayan islands of the Philippines, particularly in Capiz, Iloilo, and Antique. Passed by word of mouth, transformed by memory, warned villagers about the dangers of the night. Similar stories exist across Southeast Asia. Manananggal in Malaysia, Krasu in Thailand. Different names, different details, same fear. The legend traveled, changed, but the essence remained. A human body torn apart at night, feeding on life, and returning before sunrise. Today, people say the Manananggal is only a story. But stories do not disappear. They wait. So tonight, before you sleep, listen. Look at the corners of your room. Check the shadows behind the door. Ask yourself, is it just your imagination? Or has something been waiting for you to stop looking? Because legends are not born from nothing. They are born from people who saw something and never forgot. Thank you for joining me tonight as we explored the legend of the Manananggal. If you enjoyed this journey into folklore and the shadows of the night, make sure to subscribe to Folklore After Midnight. Hit the like button if you want more stories from across Asia. Tales that have whispered through generations and still linger in the dark. Share this video with friends who love myths, legends, and the mysteries of the night. Comment below. Which legend should we uncover next? Your suggestions might guide the next story we tell, under the cover of night. Remember, this channel is dedicated to preserving and sharing folklore from across Asia. We are storytellers, not historians. So enjoy the mysteries responsibly.